All right, so this story comes from PJ Media. I will briefly read you the 2 paragraphs from the article, and the article itself will be a link so that you may read the rest of the story. What happened to Mikaela Haynes? Missouri guardian ad litem, shortened for GUL, withdraws from case involving teen suicide after press inquiry. This report is part 14 of an investigative series looking into the reported corruption in the Missouri judiciary and family courts. Mikaela Haynes was 14 years old when she took her own life after being repeatedly forced to spend time with a convicted child rapist, her father, Charles Haynes. Haynes is currently in prison in Missouri serving a sentence for raping Mikaela's half-sister, Melissa, when she was a young teen. The nightmare for this family began when Melissa gave her mother a note disclosing that her stepfather, Cynthia Randolph's husband, Charles Haynes, had been abusing her for years. Randolph left with her 3 children, reported the abuse to the police, and filed for divorce. Haynes was arrested, charged, and pled guilty to sodomizing Melissa. So this is a deposition, because this freak is trying to get some visits with his kid. Oh, but he wants to get visits with his kid. Pedos don't get visits. And there's so much in this deposition because this lawyer is pretty much trying to show how much of a dirtbag he is. But for most people's attention span, I cannot have it that long. So let's dig into the goodies of this. So here you see our perp. Now there are things in the human body that just come through because it's a habit. Like someone who's always got their head cocked to like the left or right. There's a muscle development that is just asymmetrical. So when they do put their head up so that it's symmetrical to the body, it looks kind of off, like they've got more muscle on one side than they do the other. So as I watch this guy, other things are coming up. People who wrinkle themselves in certain spots in their face. Those wrinkles come at an early age, and sometimes they don't ever leave. And as you can see with him, even though he's an older male, he's got wrinkles at the top here in the forehead. And as you watch him through this, you're going to notice that those wrinkles don't go away. So you automatically know you're going to get a lot of believe me look or surprise face, which is never a good sign. There's something else, but you don't see it until there's movement needed. And we'll get into that.
We are on the record. This is the beginning.
So as the face falls from what you saw, the fake smile to this, the wrinkles in the forehead are still there. You also see that the wrinkles around the eyes are still there. And considering how smooth the skin is, in the neck and then the rest of the face, it's like, okay, well, this is because this is here all the time. So a lot of squinting, the fake smile, a lot of fake smile, and a lot of believe me surprise.
Of media number 1 in the deposition of Charles M. Haynes, inmate ID 1332815, in the matter of the marriage of Charles Michael Haynes, petitioner, versus Cynthia K. Haynes, respondent, Bernice Haynes, intervener, which is case number 13RI-CV00554, pending in the Ripley County Circuit Court in the state of Missouri. Today's date is October 20th of 2000.
So now it's pretty much his face is fallen all the way, and you see those wrinkles are still prominently there, even on this non-1080p video. So they're pretty dominant.
21. The time on the monitor is 8:28 a.m. My name is...
And that is an actual typical look. So he squinches his face up, the squint, and it's the very beginning. We've not seen him before. There's no baseline to go by. So automatically, you should be suspicious. People who fake a not understanding and someone who is speaking very clearly and loudly should make you pause and think.
Lou Stemler, and I'm the videographer. The court reporter is Deb Caseberg. We're here with Hughesby Global Litigation. Counsel, please introduce yourselves, after which the court reporter will swear in the witness.
My name is Evita Tolu, and I represent Cindy Haynes.
William Hallis, counsel for petitioner Charles Haynes.
Sir, if you'd raise your right hand.
So you see the introductions to the separate attorneys. This is also gives us a personality insight besides the wrinkles in the face. The opposing side, Cindy's, the attorney introduces himself and he gives that fake smile. Niceness. The attorney that belongs to him, he gives no indication to. He looks at him, acknowledges that, oh yeah, that's my attorney. There's no smile. There's no fakeness. There's usually a duality in that. And I mean in the sense of, situations. I'm not happy with that attorney, but usually you don't get that kind of look. And usually they're filing things against that attorney. And the other one is you're forced to be with me. I don't have to pretend to be nice to you. I'm trying to butter up the other lady.
Please do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Mr. Haynes, how would you like me to call you, Charles or Mr. Haynes?
Well, Charles said be fine.
Charles is fine? Okay.
Charles, that'd be fine. Fake smile. The portrayal of submission by putting his head down and pulling back. See, the thing, though, with him, and you can barely see it, there's like a triangle, like from the spine. Let's just pretend his face is not here, and we just see the spine sticking up attached to his skull. This triangle that goes here, right up underneath the armpit, comes across up to the other underneath of the armpit, and goes back up to the spine. There's a muscle back there called the trapezium muscle. It's actually one of my favorite muscles because it's so big and broad. Now it has to move. It goes down a little bit further, but that's the area that we're going to focus on because he's got that little triangle there so tight that the shoulders are refusing to move against the neck. It's a tight spot. Then as you watch this, you'll notice every time we talk to him or he's moving or he's answering a question, that triangle does not twist. The shoulder does not move forward while the other shoulder goes back. That's a twist. The neck does not go against that muscle. It's always moving in tandem with the shoulders. They do not go against each other. It would, for those of you who understand spinal movement, it's like his vertebrae from that part to the bottom, where I pointed out underneath the armpits, have been fused. That means this individual holds on to something extremely tightly and is hiding it 24/7.
Charles, when did you record Cindy on December 12th on the video?
I don't know.
Did you ever record Cindy walking inside your house on the video?
I had what they call that thing? Can't remember what they called it, but I had a camera in the house.
When did you have the camera in your house? When? When did you record Cindy?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the dates.
Was it before 2008?
No.
Was it in 2008?
This is actually really hard to watch because he's already done the lie, and what he's doing right now is just a deception so that he can think up something to say or time out the other person's patience with him so that they will give up and move on. It is a tactic used mostly by people with the maturity level of a 4-year-old. So when you look back at this, you hear him repeating it. He's not really doing much of a brain search other than trying to figure out how to get out of this or to wait them out. And you're not seeing any movement in the body.
No, I don't know. No.
Was it in 2009?
No.
2010?
So then you hear the other thing that's a tactic for an immature person. They take in a deep breath. No. Because they do know that socially it's inappropriate to have such dead space and I'm supposed to be answering a question. So I have to feign as if I'm doing something and my brain has to pretend like it's looking. So I'm going to make an innocuous noise that will not distract my brain from thinking and just go down the path of no. Weighing in, I'm not going to contradict myself. I know that I can say I don't know, and I know I can say no on definitively on some things.
No.
2011?
No.
2012?
No.
2013?
Maybe.
Okay. Do you remember the month?
I had this this camera was for security.
And you hear that little while he's doing it. It's like he's taking a crap in the middle of his deposition. But that's what he's doing. He's trying to fill the air because he doesn't want to seem like, well, I'm not impolite. I am honestly thinking. You got anyone doing that to you? You might as well just walk away. You're not going to get an honest answer. They're trying to burn out your patience. So you know what? Burn out your patience and assume they're lying and tell them that. And walk away with your time not wasted.
And it just run all the time.
But okay, so you don't remember the month in 2013.
I'm not even sure if it was 13.
Was it 2014?
Not sure what year I put it in there.
What year did you release the videos to your attorneys? What was the year you gave them to your lawyers?
I don't recall.
You also see, I don't recall, and the flexing in the jawline. So we're seeing a lot of stress. And again, as you see him, I don't recall the head movement. You notice how that triangle I pointed out to you is stuck and it moves together. There's no individual movement. It's tight.
At 11:11 a.m., we are back on the record.
All right, so let me finish the thought with Kimberly Haynes. Charles, did she ever go to the police to complain about violence in your marriage?
I don't remember her doing that.
You don't remember? You don't remember. Okay. Did she file any orders of protection against you?
Remember once she did.
Okay. And do you remember why?
I think it was it was over over her having an affair, and I confronted her over it, and Cindy.
So this is really slow to get through. But this is that part of trying your patience in hopes that you'll just, take the first thing that comes out of his mouth and stop talking to him. Move on. It's just a tactic. He seems non-aggressive. By doing that, he seems like an invalid, someone you wouldn't have to fear. It garners sympathy from the SJWs. Oh, he needs help. And he's used to getting that response. And anybody who's got any sense gets very impatient with him and just moves on. And so shall we.
So in 2013 through 2015, did your mom have a computer at home?
When was this?
From 2013 through 2015.
Did she have a computer at home? Yes.
Did you use it?
Rarely.
And my understanding is that that computer is with the Butler County Sheriff's Department.
It was turned over to the prosecutor.
Why?
Because supposedly there was pictures on there.
Oh, shit. You knew those were the words that he wanted to bring out of his mouth. Oh, it's not mine. Bug-eyed, stress in the face, trying to get away from the situation by literally pushing himself away. Guess he wasn't counting on that.
Supposedly, nudity.
Oh.
Something that I never seen them, but supposedly it was something that needed to be turned into law enforcement.
So your mom was into nudity? How did the pictures get on your mom's computer?
I had forgotten at the time, but what happened was me and Cindy my mom was away, and me and Cindy were living up there at my mom's house. I think the kids were in foster care, and Cindy had Melissa's phone, and she downloaded the phone to that computer one day. We were just sitting in there, and she just set it to download, and I think she forgot about it too, and that was the end of it. And then all of a sudden, my mom called me up and said, there's pictures on here that I don't know where they came from and such, and I said, well, get the computer. The computer needs to go to the attorney. And the attorney looked at it. I never looked at it. He looked at it, and he said it needs to be turned in. So I said, turn it in.
Oh, dear God, it takes him forever to spit it out. Damn it, if you're gonna lie, at least be good at it. Well, yeah. That's why he has to take that big breath in. So he can squeal the rest of the time in between the words coming out as he thinks it up. Well, got his arms folded literally in front of himself. He's got that triangle tight as a noose. He's not moving. You see the movement. He's supposed to be, he leans in to believe me. And that triangle doesn't move because this is that whatever is demented in his mind, because all we know about is this pedo thing. It makes you wonder, for as tight as he's going, if there's just more in there than just, I'm going to act and behave in a way that makes you think that I'm some sweet, nice guy who's just mentally challenged. You take whatever he's saying at that very moment. Oh, it's him and Sydney. The kids were in foster care at that time, because none of it looks like truth. The same body movements, the stiffness, no brain search, no nothing. It's just a story. Some of it may be true. We actually really can't tell because he's lying or covering something so hard it's coming out of all of his pores.
So you don't know what was on your mom's computer?
I never seen the pictures.
Okay.
I never seen the pictures, and then finally we see something. He looks away, looks down, emotional shame. Never seen the pictures. Why are we accessing that part of the brain? And then at the same time being as tight as we are with the arms and the lap and that triangle. Oh, it wasn't me.
Now, did Martha, Cindy's sister?
Now, you see, because of that, this is still leading in. The brain is still in cover-up mode. So he was holding his face, holding everything so still to try and hide anything that would give him away afterwards. And so she starts speaking again, because this lawyer is not dumb. And because he's probably realizing he hasn't sold her that he's mentally challenged, that needs help, he's going to try and make himself small. That's why you see him lean down and in and try and come up at her with those little puppy dog eyes from that angle. Honest, I'm just kind of dumb. Be easy with me.
Sister? Ever have an order of protection filed against you?
She had one filed against me and Cindy. Yeah, me and Cindy.
And what was Martha's problem with you?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. What about her husband? Did he file an order of protection against you?
I don't remember if he did or not.
And you don't remember what the problem was? It was granted, and then it was extended and extended again. It was for several years, and you don't remember.
I don't even know when it went till.
Okay. Do you ever get angry, Mr. Haynes?
Sometimes, yes.
And what do you do?
Mainly just cuss.
Did you ever cuss at your children, at the girls?
I have used profanity around the girls, sure.
What words would you please share?
Just run-of-the-mill language, bad language, but I have since I have since quit that, and I don't curse anymore.
Jennifer Williams, did you know her before she got appointed as a guardian for your girls?
No.
Who introduced you to Jennifer?
Who introduced me to her? Mm-hmm.
Well, that was interesting. So this is the woman that they're talking about, Jennifer Williams. She's supposed to be the child's advocate and ends up testifying for this guy that, yeah, he needs to have some contact with his children because he's a dumb retard. Needs a lot of help. And she brings up Jennifer Williams, the biggest movement we see so far of him in his Heidi mode. Now he's got to stretch out and go scratch himself. It's like, oh, okay, that's a really big movement. It's not a movement of stress in a sense. People don't generally do that other than to give an excuse to stretch muscles because it's been so tight. It's an opportunity of distraction. It's like, okay, so why are we distracting? And then she's asking him if he was ever introduced, who introduced, you know, the kind of like the beginnings of this relationship. And we don't go to the part of the brain that says, oh, I have a memory there. You know, an emotional memory, a visual memory, you know, a doing memory, you know, those kind of things would be normal. Who introduced you? Oh, and go there. But he's gating his response. His eye movements literally are saying, I have to temper this response with whatever BS comes out of his mouth. And since we know his tactic is to stall and do noises to fill the void so he doesn't seem like he's avoiding the question, he's coming up with a lie.
In the courthouse, I guess I met her in the courthouse.
In the courthouse. I guess I met her in the courthouse. It would really make you wonder why you would hide that. One, I don't think this guy's got a lot of friends because anybody with a couple of brain cells is going to get annoyed dealing with him. Then I would assume this woman went to college and has more than a few brain cells to rub together. So the relationship between the two of them wouldn't be what I would think close. There are some weird ones out there, so, you know, never throw out anything. But at present, that makes no sense why you would sit there and hide that.
No. You brought her into the case. I'm just trying to figure out, how did you know Jennifer?
No, I didn't bring her into the case. The court brought her into the case.
Well, your attorney did, not the court.
Wait, okay, hold on. The court entered the order appointing a guardian ad litem.
Yes.
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply. Why don't you just spell it out?
Okay. You recommended Jennifer to be the guardian ad litem for your girls. How did you arrive at Jennifer's candidacy?
You're assuming that he recommended,
He
not
did.
his attorney. His attorney may have.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
that's a little different.
Your attorney or you picked Jennifer. How that decision was made?
I did not. I'm only going to tell you this one more time. I did not pick her. I didn't know her.
Okay, that's all I want to know. So it was your attorney then? Because it's either you or him.
Or the court.
Or the court.
He's really flustered right here. The vein in his neck popping out when he was answering the question. The shakiness in the neck area and the body. And he's actually dropping, desperately trying to get that, you know, puppy look. It's almost like you see some moment of fear. You're not quite sure why. I mean, obviously we know something nefarious is happening. But to all the normal people out there who don't make a habit of being a pedo and hiding from people, this makes no sense.
Or
Well-
previous attorney or the other attorney or the other 5 attorneys that Cindy's had.
No.
Nobody sitting here was in the case, other than Chuck, at the time she was appointed.
And that's why I'm asking.
And if he doesn't know how she was recommended or appointed,
Well, I know how she was recommended. I just want to know if Chuck knew how she was recommended. So, how many times did you and Jennifer and the girls meet?
Once.
How many times did you and Jennifer meet?
Just that one time with the girls.
You never met with her after that?
Nope.
How did you communicate with Jennifer?
I
Did you?
I didn't communicate with her. I mean,
Honestly think this part is actually the most honest there is. I didn't communicate with Jennifer. He actually had some movement there, which would make more sense in the personality realm that he does not have a relationship with this Jennifer lady. Now it just makes you sit there and think, well, who was his attorney and what kind of relationships did he have? Because I can imagine, a situation like this going up. Oh, don't worry about that. We're going to get this lady in. Oh, we're good friends. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Shoot, she might even, say a good word for you for the judge. And then life is good.
we had lived in the office, the log house, for a time, but I don't remember what year it was. Cindy wanted to live there for a while, and so we lived there for a while, and then we came back to my house with her.
Do you remember the year you moved to the?
No, I don't have any.
But
idea.
that was the last house you lived together as a family.
My house, the one we're calling my house here.
Okay.
2312, yes.
Okay. So as Mikaela grew older, did you guys become closer, or did you drift apart? What was the relationship?
Fine.
It was fine? Would you?
So this is interesting. She's asking him about Mikaela. Mikaela's the one that killed herself over having to deal with any of this. And he becomes annoyed instantly. Looks away, comes back with a huff. Fine. Right there, there's something wrong. That's not normal. This child is dead. She's 14 years old. She hangs herself. As a parent, anything that puts your memory or your mind back in that memory should literally kill your heart. You should see something. Even if you're just trying to hide emotion, you should see that, not irritation.
Okay, Charles, Mikaela told her pediatrician that you had sex with her.
what's your question?
Why would Mikaela say that?
I don't know that she did.
The same day she made this disclosure, she was tested for syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV, and chlamydia. So why would a doctor run tests on 12-year-old?
Why don't you go ask the doctor?
I'm asking you.
No, why don't you go ask the doctor?
Speculation. If you know the answer, you can
Did
answer.
you have
if you
sex
don't know
with
the
I don't know
answer,
the answer.
Did you have sex with
I've
Mikaela?
already answered those questions from you.
Did you sodomize your daughter?
Did what?
Did you
I've already
sodomize
answered
your
that. You got a bad memory
asked
too.
and answered. He's not going to
Okay.
answer.
Now we can sit there and say, well, he's rightfully angry because he's being accused of something he did not do. But I challenge your thoughts. If we go back and look, because he's such a slow person and he does it purposely because he's right on it when he wants to be.
Yes,
Okay,
it
what's the
is.
next
You
question?
don't know what you're talking about half
Okay.
the time here. You really don't.
Okay, Charles, Mikaela told her pediatrician that you had sex with her.
What's your question?
Okay, so that question comes out. He's really still as he listens for this question. And then at the end of it, of course, that you had sex with her. And then he just kind of stops and he exhales. So it's like, okay. was like all that stress. What did she say? What did she say? And then a relief and an eye roll of irritation. It's like, okay, that doesn't necessarily mean anything against Mikaela. It's just apparently her saying that doesn't bother him. But what got me is as you watch it through.
Why would Mikaela say that?
I don't know that she did.
And he likes to use this line. I don't know that she did. When she wrote her suicide note, I don't think she wrote it. When she said things to other people about what he was like, I don't think it was her. It's his favorite go-to for Mikaela in any accusation coming from her. That it was somebody else, it wasn't her. It's like, all right. So that's his out. Mentally, he's already got that. He doesn't have to think about it. He doesn't have to stress about it. And that's why you see a little bit of relief. Okay. But what backs up Mikaela is next.
The same day she made this disclosure, she was tested for syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV, and chlamydia. So why would a
now it's not funny. Against him, it's hilarious, but it's not funny. He gets annoyed, extremely annoyed with the list of STDs that this child had to go through because of the perpetrator that did it to her possibly has them. He's so mad over this whole concept of it. You can literally see his jaw muscles popping out repeatedly. It's like somebody went and told him he had HIV, any kind of STD you can think of. That's what he's angry about, is STD testing. Well, nobody who didn't do it wouldn't be angry about that. The person who raped her and may be accused of having an STD would be.
Doctor run tests on 12-year-old.
Why don't you go ask the doctor?
I'm asking you.
No, why don't you go ask the doctor?
Speculation. If you know the answer, you can
Did
answer.
you have
If you
sex
don't know
with
the
I don't know
answer,
the answer.
Did you have sex with
I've
Mikaela?
already answered those questions from you.
Did you sodomize your daughter?
And then, of course, you see the twitching of the arm, the lack of movement in that triangle. Yes, we know the answer. He did. And I wouldn't call it sex. That makes it sound like it's consensual. Sometimes part of reading body language isn't just about, looking at where somebody's arm is going or how they're standing or what movement they're doing. It's realizing that the lines on their face have been etched there for a reason. The tightness in some muscles are there for a reason. The personalities that are accused of clashing need to be examined, and does it make sense? Is context and perspective? Nothing that this man does or says makes any sense. And the things that he gets angry at doesn't make any sense. It is not the behavior of a loving parent, which makes everything he says suspect. If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.